Imagine a bull so muscular it looks like a completely different species. Double the muscle mass of any normal bovine. Like God decided once simply wasn't enough. And that's just number 15 on this list. There are 15 of these colossal animals, some weighing more than a pickup truck, some worth millions of dollars, and some so physically impossible looking that your brain refuses to accept what it's seeing. Get ready, because number 1 is in a category all by itself. Position 15, Belgian Blue, the bull with double the muscle of any normal bovine on Earth. This animal doesn't look real. Seriously, the Belgian Blue carries what's called double muscling, a genetic mutation that blocks myostatin, the protein that tells muscles to stop growing. The result? A bull that looks like it spends every waking hour in a gym. Except it doesn't. It was just born this way. Developed in Belgium in the 1800s, the Belgian Blue stands around 5 feet tall, weighs between 2,200 and 2,400 pounds, and has a body fat percentage so low that veterinarians sometimes struggle to find a vein. Every single muscle group is exaggerated: shoulders, hindquarters, back, legs, all of it. And here's where it gets wild. Because calves are born with that same overdeveloped musculature, natural delivery is almost always impossible. Nearly all Belgian Blue calves are delivered by planned cesarean section. Every single one. In 2019, a Belgian Blue bull in France was valued at over $400,000. Would you have guessed a cow could look like this? Can you imagine an entire breed where surgery is just a normal part of the birth process? Comment below if this is the most unreal-looking animal you've ever seen. Position 14, Chianina, the Italian giant that holds the world record as the largest cattle breed ever documented. The tallest bull ever officially recorded in history was a Chianina named Doneto, standing 6 feet 2 inches at the shoulder. For reference, that's taller than most NBA players. And he wasn't an exception. He was pretty much standard for this breed. The Chianina comes from the Val di Chiana region of Tuscany, Italy, and its history goes back over 2,000 years. Roman emperors used these animals in triumphal processions. They appear in ancient Roman art, and today they still look just as imposing: pure white or gray coat, massive muscular frame, calm and dignified presence. A fully grown Chianina bull can reach 3,750 pounds. That's heavier than most pickup trucks on the road. And despite that size, it's one of the most docile breeds you'll find anywhere on Earth. The creator clearly had something grand in mind when he designed this one. In 1981, a Chianina bull was certified by the Guinness Book of Records as the heaviest bull ever officially recorded, over 3,800 pounds. What would you do standing next to something that size? Did you know this breed was already ancient when the Roman Empire was at its peak? Tag someone who has absolutely no idea this breed exists. Position 13, Sibby Bagneri, the sacred desert bull of Pakistan that thrives where any other breed would collapse. Here's a fact most people have never heard. In the Balochistan desert of Pakistan, temperatures regularly hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's a bull that doesn't just survive that, it thrives in it. No kidding. The Sibby Bagneri has been bred in that region for centuries, developed specifically for extreme heat, drought, and rough terrain. It stands around 5 feet tall, weighs between 1,600 and 2,000 pounds, and carries a large pronounced hump and a distinctive dewlap, both designed to regulate body heat in scorching conditions. These animals are so deeply tied to local culture that the Sibby Bagneri is shown at the famous Sibby Festival, one of the oldest livestock festivals in Pakistan, where top specimens are treated like national celebrities. What blows everyone's mind is that in 2021, a prize-winning Sibby Bagneri sold for the equivalent of over $150,000 at that festival. A livestock animal, worth a luxury car. Can you imagine a bull thriving where the temperature hits 120 degrees? Have you ever heard of this breed before today? Share this if it genuinely surprised you, because most people outside Pakistan have no idea this even exists. Position 12, Marchigiana, the forgotten Italian giant producing some of the most prized beef in all of Europe. What do you think of when you hear Italian luxury? Fashion, cars, food. But in the cattle world, Italy has been quietly producing something most people never talk about: the Marchigiana, one of the most efficient and impressive beef breeds on the entire continent. Coming from the Marche region of central Italy, this breed was developed in the 20th century by crossing local cattle with Chianina and Romagnola bloodlines. It stands between 5 and 6 feet at the shoulder, weighs up to 2,600 pounds, and carries a white or gray coat with a naturally deep, muscular build. Now here's the most fascinating part. The Marchigiana produces an extraordinary feed-to-muscle conversion ratio, meaning it builds more lean muscle per pound of feed than almost any other European breed. European premium butchers specifically seek it out for exactly that reason. In 2018, a Marchigiana bull in Italy sold privately for over 300,000 euros for breeding rights alone. The creator packed serious engineering into this one: size, efficiency, and beauty all in the same package. Would you have guessed Italy had a cattle breed this impressive? Did you know European luxury beef has a breed of its own? Comment below if this one completely surprised you. Position 11. Parthenaise, the ancient French breed that was once the preferred bull of French royalty. Before Charolais, before Limousin, before any of the breeds France is famous for today, there was the Parthenaise, one of the oldest French cattle breeds in recorded history, going back at least to the 17th century. And for a long time, it was the crown jewel of French livestock. Native to the Deux-Sèvres region of western France, the Parthenaise stands around 5 feet at the shoulder, weighs between 1,300 and 2,000 pounds, and carries a distinctive fawn or wheat-colored coat that makes it stand out immediately. Elegant build, well-muscled hindquarters, and a temperament known for being exceptionally calm. French royalty specifically requested Parthenaise beef for royal banquets during the reign of Louis XIV. That's Versailles-level clientele. And looking at this animal, it makes complete sense. But here's where it gets interesting. By the mid-20th century, the breed had declined so severely it was placed on France's endangered livestock list. A dedicated conservation program, launched in the 1980s, brought it back from the edge of extinction. Have you ever heard of a cattle breed served at a royal palace? Isn't it wild that one of France's oldest breeds almost vanished completely? Keep watching. The best is absolutely still to come. Position 10. Blonde d'Aquitaine, the elegant French powerhouse that combines size, muscle, and grace like nothing else. Most people think of France and picture wine, the Eiffel Tower, maybe cheese. But in the cattle world, France has been quietly producing one of the most athletic and impressive beef breeds on the planet. Meet the Blonde d'Aquitaine, developed in the southwest of France, in the same region that produces some of the world's finest wines. This breed brings together 3 ancient French strains: the Guéronese, the Corsi, and the Blonde de Pyrenees. The result is a large, well-muscled animal with a golden blonde coat, standing between 5 and 6 feet tall and weighing up to 2,700 pounds. Now here's what makes this breed genuinely remarkable. Its calves are born with naturally small heads and narrow shoulders, making delivery far easier than other large breeds. Healthier births, lower losses, stronger calves right from the start. God built efficiency straight into the biology. In the United States, the American Blonde d'Aquitaine Association was founded in 1972, and the breed has grown consistently in popularity ever since, particularly among ranchers who want serious eyes without sacrificing ease of management. Would you have expected something this massive to be this easy to manage? Did you know France had a breed this athletic? Drop a like if you're learning something completely new with every single position on this list. Position 9. Guzara, the sacred Brazilian giant born in ancient India and perfected under the tropical sun. Here's something most people never realize. Brazil is the largest commercial beef cattle herd on the planet. And one of the breeds that helped build that entire empire came straight from ancient India. The Guzara was brought to Brazil from the Indian state of Gujarat in the 1800s, then crossbred and adapted over generations for tropical heat, humidity, and the demands of South American ranching. Today, Brazil has developed it into something the original Indian breeders would barely recognize: larger, more muscular, more productive. A fully grown Guzera bull stands around 5 feet at the shoulder, weighs between 1,800 to 2,200 pounds, and carries the classic zebu traits: a prominent hump, loose dewlap skin, and large drooping ears perfectly designed to release body heat. It also has a natural resistance to ticks and parasites that keeps production costs dramatically lower than European breeds. And speaking of value, in 2022, a Guzera bull in Brazil sold at auction for the equivalent of over $900,000. Almost $1 million for one animal. Isn't it incredible how God designed this breed to thrive on two completely different continents across centuries of adaptation? Can you imagine paying nearly $1 million for a bull? Comment below, worth it or absolutely insane. Position 8. Maine Anjou, the French dual-purpose giant that was once Europe's most valuable cattle breed. The Maine Anjou doesn't just look powerful, it is powerful. At over 2,800 pounds, it's one of the heaviest breeds in the world. And for decades across the 19th and early 20th centuries, it was the most valuable dual-purpose breed in all of Europe. Developed in the Maine and Anjou regions of northwestern France in the mid-1800s, this breed was prized equally for both beef and dairy production, a rare combination at that scale. It carries a distinctive dark red and white patched coat, a massive deep-bodied frame, and a wide-set structure that makes it look almost rectangular from the side. The physical presence of a fully grown bull is genuinely hard to describe until you're standing right next to one. What most people don't know is that when the Maine Anjou arrived in North America in 1969, American breeders immediately recognized its potential for heavyweight show cattle. Within 2 decades, it dominated American livestock competitions. In 2014, a Maine Anjou cross steer at the Fort Worth Stock Show in Texas sold for $280,000. A single show animal. Have you ever imagined a breed this massive producing both beef and milk at competitive levels? Isn't it incredible what God packed into one animal? Tag someone who needs to see what 2,800 pounds of French beef looks like up close. Position 7. Devon, the ancient English breed that has stayed virtually unchanged for over 2,000 years. What breed of cattle was already grazing across England before the Roman legions even arrived? The Devon, one of the oldest breeds on Earth, and somehow still here. Still producing, still thriving, and still turning heads with that deep ruby red coat. The Devon comes from the county of the same name in southwest England, with origins archaeologists trace back over 2,000 years. It stands between 4.5 and 5 feet at the shoulder, weighs between 1,300 and 1,900 pounds, and carries that immediately recognizable rich reddish-brown coat that earned it the nickname Red Ruby among English farmers for centuries. But here's the most remarkable part. The Devon was among the first cattle brought to North America by English settlers in 1623, just 3 years after the Mayflower landed. These animals helped feed some of the very first American colonies. And speaking of records, the Devon holds recognition as one of the most genetically pure heritage breeds in the world, with bloodlines documented continuously for over 300 years. Can you imagine a breed that was already ancient when America was being colonized? Have you ever seen that ruby red coat in person? Hit that notification bell so you never miss what we bring you next. Position 6. Braford, the American-born powerhouse that combined 2 worlds into one unstoppable animal. What happens when you cross a Brahman with a Hereford? You get a breed that's heat-resistant, tick-resistant, calmer than a Brahman, hardier than a Hereford, and built for environments that would wear out either parent breed on its own. That's the Braford, born right here in the United States. Developed in Florida in the 1940s by Alto Adams Jr., whose family recognized that neither existing breed could handle the harsh Florida scrublands alone. The Braford carries a distinctive reddish body with white face markings and a smaller version of the characteristic zebu hump. A fully grown Braford bull stands around 5 feet tall and weighs between 1,600 and 2,200 pounds. It thrives in tropical and subtropical climates where European breeds consistently underperform, making it a top choice for ranchers across the American South and large parts of South America. In 2018, A Braford bull in Brazil sold at auction for over $750,000. A crossbreed, $750,000. Would you have guessed an American-developed breed could reach that kind of value? Can you imagine designing a crossbreed specifically to survive one region's climate? Keep watching. What's still coming will absolutely blow your mind. Position 5. Limousin, the golden French athlete that became one of the most exported beef breeds on the planet. The Limousin has been described by breeders as the closest thing the beef industry has to a perfect animal. And looking at the numbers, it's genuinely hard to argue with that. Coming from south-central France, this breed has a history going back thousands of years. Cave paintings discovered in the Limousin region depicting cattle remarkably similar to the modern breed are estimated to be over 17,000 years old. 17,000 years. Let that sink in for a second. A fully grown Limousin bull stands between 5 and 6 feet at the shoulder, weighs between 20 to 2,400 pounds, and carries a distinctive golden red coat with an exceptionally low bone-to-meat ratio, meaning more usable beef per animal than most competing breeds. It's been exported to over 70 countries and consistently ranks among the top 5 beef breeds globally by production efficiency. In 2020, a Limousin bull in Ireland sold for the equivalent of over $300,000. God packed serious engineering into this one: beauty, efficiency, and size in perfect balance. Would you have guessed that a breed featured in 17,000-year-old cave paintings was still dominating today? Isn't that literally the definition of timeless? Drop a like if the Limousin surprised you more than you expected. Position 4. Charolais, the French white giant that completely rewrote the global beef industry. In the 1950s, when the first Charolais bulls arrived in the United States and were crossed with local Hereford and Angus cows, American ranchers couldn't believe what they were seeing. Calves grew faster, hit heavier weights, and produced more lean beef than anything they had bred before. The Charolais didn't just enter the American cattle industry. It completely rewrote it. Developed in the Charolais region of Burgundy, France, with origins tracing back to the 9th century, the Charolais stands between 5 and 6 feet at the shoulder and weighs between 2,200 and 3,300 pounds. Its pure white coat, massive muscular frame, and broad forehead make it one of the most recognizable breeds on Earth. It's also one of the fastest-growing beef breeds alive, capable of gaining up to 4.5 pounds per day under optimal conditions. That's like adding the weight of a large bag of flour to its body every single day. Now get ready for this. In 2021, a Charolais bull in France sold for €1,200,000. A single animal. Can you imagine a breed so efficient it changed how an entire country raises beef? Have you ever stood next to a white bull weighing over 3,000 pounds? Just wait until you see what's coming in the last 2 positions. For real. Position 3. Simmental, the Swiss powerhouse that became one of the most widespread cattle breeds in the entire world. If there were an award for the most globally distributed cattle breed, the Simmental would win without a fight. Raised on 6 continents, over 40 million registered animals worldwide. There are more Simmentals on Earth than the entire population of Canada, multiplied by over 1,000. No kidding. Originally from the Sim Valley in the canton of Bern, Switzerland, this breed dates back to at least the Middle Ages. It stands between 5 and 6 feet at the shoulder, weighs between 1,300 to 2,600 pounds, and comes in colors ranging from golden yellow to deep red, typically with white patches and a distinctive white face. What makes the Simmental genuinely extraordinary is its versatility. It produces competitive volumes of both beef and milk. It adapts to mountain cold, tropical heat, arid grasslands, and dense pastures. And its calves consistently show some of the strongest growth rates ever recorded in feed efficiency studies worldwide. In 2022, a Simmental cow in Switzerland sold at auction for over 300,000 Swiss francs. Isn't it incredible how God designed one single breed to thrive literally everywhere on Earth? Can you think of another animal this universally adaptable? Share this with someone who had no idea Switzerland was behind one of the most important cattle breeds on the planet. Position 2. Nelore, the tropical king that became the backbone of the largest commercial beef herd on Earth. Brazil produces more beef than almost any other nation on the planet. And the single breed most responsible for making that possible? The Nelore. Not the most glamorous name, but in terms of sheer global impact, there is absolutely no debate. Brought from India in the 1800s, the Nelore was refined and perfected under Brazilian conditions over more than a century. Today, Brazil has over 160 million Nelore cattle. 160 million. That's roughly the entire population of Russia in one single breed of cattle. A fully grown Nelore bull stands around 5 feet at the shoulder, weighs between 1,700 to 2,200 pounds, and carries the signature zebu traits: pronounced hump, large ears, loose skin, and a natural resistance to heat, ticks, and tropical parasites that European breeds simply cannot match. But here's the most jaw-dropping part. In 2023, a Nelore bull named Vittorio F5ELO sold at auction in Brazil for $8,400,000. The most expensive bull ever sold in the history of South America. Can you believe a single bull sold for over $8 million? Would you have guessed that Brazil's entire beef empire rests on a breed that originally came from India? Comment your reaction to that price, because $8 million for one animal is genuinely insane. Position 1. Brahman, the sacred giant from ancient India that reshaped cattle ranching across an entire hemisphere. Every breed on this list that thrives in heat, the Braford, the Guzara, the Nelore, carries Brahman blood. This is the breed that made tropical cattle ranching possible in the Western Hemisphere. Without it, the beef industries of the American South and South America simply would not exist the way they do today. Descended from the sacred zebu cattle of India, the Brahman was developed as a distinct American breed in the late 1800s by crossing Gujarat, Nelore, and Gur bloodlines. The result was unlike anything the American continent had ever seen before. A Brahman bull stands between 5 and 6 feet at the shoulder, weighs between 1,700 and 2,300 pounds, and is instantly recognized by that massive shoulder hump, which can exceed a foot in height on prime specimens, along with large pendulous ears and loose skin that releases body heat like a natural biological cooling system. God designed this animal for the tropics, and every single inch of it shows. In 2019, a Brahman bull sold at auction in the United States for $1,500,000. But the real value of this breed isn't measured in auction prices. It's measured in the hundreds of millions of animals it has fathered across an entire hemisphere. Can you believe one breed from ancient India reshaped an entire continent's agriculture? Isn't that the very definition of a legacy? This is the undisputed king of this list, and there was never any other choice. So guys, which of these 15 bulls impressed you the most? From the impossibly muscular Belgian Blue to the ancient and sacred Brahman, every single one of these animals is a living testament to the power and creativity of God. Whether it's the Chianina towering at over 3,800 pounds, the Nelore building Brazil's entire beef empire, or the Brahman reshaping agriculture across a whole hemisphere, every breed on this list carries a story worth knowing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss what we bring you next. Comment below which bull blew your mind the most. Your feedback genuinely shapes what we create here. And if you haven't watched our video about the 15 most beautiful horse breeds in the world yet, go check it out right now. The link is in the description and on screen. You will not regret it. The animal kingdom never stops amazing us. Until next time, guys, and thanks so much for watching.